We've all seen it, right? The promise of easy money. It's everywhere, especially when you're a student. But what if that simple part-time job was actually a really sophisticated trap, one with some seriously devastating consequences? Well, in this explainer, we're going to pull back the curtain on the easy money trap and show you exactly how to stay safe.
I mean, seriously, think about that for a second. Imagine you're just trying to make a little extra cash, to make student life a bit easier, and you somehow end up risking your education, your whole future, and maybe even your right to stay in the country. It sounds pretty extreme, I know, but as you're about to see, this is a very, very real risk.
So how does this whole thing even kick off? Well, it almost always starts by tapping into something every student needs: extra money. Scammers know this, and they're experts at packaging their traps to look like simple, low-effort ways to earn a little pocket money.
I bet you've seen ads just like this online. They always use the same catchy language, don't they? Guaranteed profits. Operated by experts. No risk. This is literally the bait that fraud rings use to pull students into online betting and investment schemes that are anything but safe.
And what makes these traps so incredibly dangerous is just how accessible they are. We're not talking about some hidden, shady corner of the internet here. These platforms for Baccarat, poker, and sports betting are everywhere. They're right on your smartphone, and they have absolutely flooded school campuses.
All right, now let's talk about how this little hook builds into something way more dangerous. The journey from what feels like a harmless little bet to a crushing mountain of debt, well, it can happen shockingly fast. It's a classic slippery slope, and it's designed from the ground up to trap you.
The whole process is super methodical. It usually starts with a small win, just to get you hooked. One student actually won over 30,000 NTD right at the beginning. But then, of course, the losses start. And as you chase that first big win, they start offering you credit. Play first, pay later. And before you know it, the debt is just massive. Completely unpayable.
And here is the absolute key, the most important part. The game is rigged. This has nothing to do with luck or skill or strategy. These platforms are actively, deliberately manipulating the odds to make sure that the more you play, the more you lose. You are literally meant to lose from the start.
Losing all that money is awful, for sure. But honestly, that's just the beginning. The real consequences can change the entire course of your life. We're talking about your education, your legal status, and even your personal safety. The amount of debt can be just staggering. Get this. One high school student piled up nearly 390,000 new Taiwan dollars in debt, and when he couldn't pay, the creditors showed up at his school and threw flyers with his face on them all over the place. The debt turned into public humiliation, just like that.
A lot of the time, when you can't pay, the scammers will come back with another opportunity. They'll ask for your bank account details, saying it's to help you out. But what you're really doing is handing over a dummy account. Your account then gets used to launder their dirty money from other crimes, and suddenly, you're an accomplice.
And that one little act creates this terrifying ripple effect. For an international student, it could mean getting expelled and deported. You could end up with a criminal record for fraud. Gangs might force you to become a money mule, moving their illegal cash around to pay off your debt, all while threatening you with violence. And the mental toll? It's immense. Research has shown that a horrifyingly high number of gambling addicts have had suicidal thoughts.
Okay, I know that was all pretty heavy, but understanding these risks is the absolute first step to avoiding them. So let's shift gears. Let's focus on the specific mistakes you need to look out for to keep yourself safe.
The first and biggest mistake is just believing the hype. Let me be perfectly clear. Any ad you see online that promises guaranteed profits or easy money, it is 100% a scam. Full stop. It's only designed to do one thing: take your money.
Next, and this is critical, never, ever give your bank account details to a stranger or some random online group. The second you do, your account isn't really yours anymore. It becomes a tool for criminals, you become part of their scheme, and your own money can get frozen.
And finally, don't let any of this stuff distract you from why you're here in the first place. Staying up all night betting on sports or playing games means you start missing classes. And for international students, this is a red alert. If you have too many absences, your student visa can get revoked. Your right to even be in the country is tied directly to your studies.
Okay, so now that we know what to avoid, let's wrap this up with something positive and super clear, a checklist of simple things you can do to protect yourself and your future.
Think of this as your personal defense plan. First,
Focus on your studies and healthy hobbies. If you need to work, great, but use official channels to find a legal, stable job. Always, always remember, there is no such thing as a free lunch. Be super skeptical of any social media group promising you easy money. And maybe most importantly, if you do find yourself in trouble, please ask for help immediately. Hiding the problem only makes it 1,000 times worse.
And you know what? Asking for help is simple. Here are the numbers. You can call the anti-fraud hotline at 165, or you can always call the police at 110. You could also just talk to a teacher or a school counselor. The main point is you are not alone in this. There are people who can help and they want to help.
So, we'll leave you with this final thought. Think about how hard you've worked to get where you are today. Your education, your future, that is the absolute best and safest bet you can ever make. So why would you ever risk it all on a game that's rigged for you to lose?